I come to the floor having just listened to the minority leader talk, and I read in Punch Bowl News this morning the minority leader making a statement to Punch Bowl. So he thinks the Democrats have momentum. His statement is, every day gets better for us. That's what he said in an interview from his office yesterday when he was interviewed by the News. He said, every day gets better for us. I said, who is us? Not better for the American people. Who does he mean by us? Not the military who's not getting paid, not the Border Patrol that's not getting paid, not the air traffic controllers who aren't getting paid. Who is us? He's playing a game. We see it. The Washington Post talked about it just yesterday in their headline in their editorial page. Democrat leaders play dangerous game. That's what we have here. And what does the minority leader say? Every day gets better for us. Who in the world is us? Is it this group that has organized the shutdown? They've talked about having an orchestrated group of the far left wing, the terrorist wing of the Democrat Party, organizing and orchestrating the shutdown, planning for weeks in the minority leader's office, closely coordinated, and it's hurting the American people. But the minority leader has said it's getting better for them. Look, how can they brag about the damage that they're doing to the American people? Whether it's women on infant and children programs needing food, whether it's small businesses applying for loans for the Small Business Administration, our troops, our Border Patrol. But boy, for what I see from the minority leader and where he's trying to lead this country, it's a perfect quote for the shutdown. Gets better for them every day. And I'll tell you, Mr. President, it's rubbish. And it is hurting our country. 13 times we have voted to open the government, keep it open for a continuing resolution in Joe Biden's term, and now they're not going to do it because Donald Trump's in the White House. That's what we have in this country today. A political game being played by the Democrats because they think that every day gets better for them. And this isn't right versus left. This is right versus wrong. That's what we're facing in this country today. There are 1.3 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guards, Guardians on active duty to protect our nation, protect our freedoms. They're going to miss their paychecks. But Chuck Schumer says getting better for them, for the brave men and women in uniform. One date looms large. It's October 15th. Normally October 15th is payday. This year, under the Schumer shutdown, with it getting better for Schumer every day, it's going to be a day paychecks don't arrive for every one of them. 9 days ago, October 1st, service members of the ranks got their last paycheck. And it's going to be their last paycheck until the game, the dangerous game, the political game that Schumer and the others are playing ends and government reopens. We could do it today with a vote. We're going to have an opportunity to do it. And it's wrong. It's just wrong to do this as a game because it's getting better for them every day, or so they think. This Friday, October 10th, tomorrow, Border Patrol agents and other federal workers will receive only half a paycheck. The Democrat leader says that's getting better for them. 72% of military families say their most pressing concerns is missing a paycheck. 500,000 military families relocate to new duty stations each year. For them, costs can be crushing. Moves cost by the families are average $8,000 out of pocket. Normally this is reimbursed. May not be for a while. Chuck Schumer says getting better for them every day. Under the Schumer shutdown, military families are going to be forced to stretch out the budgets, dip into savings, take out loans. This adds to financial stress and strain. At Fort Hood in Texas, the local food bank is seeing a 34% spike in demand just since the shutdown began. Military families are lining up for food, diapers, baby formula. One employee there said the situation in Fort Worth had never happened ever. Maybe they're just stocking up because they know that for the Democrats, they think it's getting better every day. That's what they're aiming for. What in the heck are they thinking? Well, those people that have planned and organized all of this are thinking that, hey, we got a big rally coming to Washington, an Oak Kings rally coming up the 18th, getting better for them every day. Let's just hurt the military more, the Border Patrol more, the women, infants, and children more. Hurt them because it's getting better for them every day. Not hurt. Who is the us? It's the left wing of the Democrat Party. It's not the American people. That's what we're focused on here. I want to focus about opening the government up for the American people. We have offered a clean, continuing resolution at current funding levels, at Biden funding levels, current levels, reopens the government, pays our service members. Mr. President, Republicans want to reopen the government. We have voted to not shut down the government. We want to make sure our troops don't miss the paycheck October 15th. Not the Democrats, because they think it's getting better for them. The date on their calendar is not the 15th, which is the date on the calendar of every military member. Their date is October 18th. That's the date when the most radical left-wing activists are going to descend upon Washington. They're coming to protest President Trump. And the Democrat leader and his leadership team is hoping that they will actually receive cheers from that group, because it's getting better for them every day. That's what they say. This shutdown is all about politics. It's what it's all about. Been planned and orchestrated and organized for months. The Washington Post editorial said it best. The Democrats are playing a dangerous game. They are choosing politics over the paychecks of the American working men and women who protect our nation. And this weakness defines today's Democrat Party. They are radical, they are extreme, they are dangerous, they are scary, they are out of touch. But they think it's getting better for those people every day. They're holding our military hostage. Why? Because they want to impress the left-wing activists. It's indefensible. Service members now have to worry about putting food on the table, so that the Democrats and Senator Schumer can try to satisfy the far-left liberal wing of the party, who will never be satisfied until this country is destroyed. That's what they want. It's no surprise that 55% of Americans say Democrats are shutting down the government just to please their radical base. The Senate can reopen the government today, but we need a handful of Democrats to join us. Democrats voted 13 times for a clean continuing resolution under Joe Biden. They know that the Schumer shutdown, it's reckless, it's radical, and it is wrong. The Democrats don't seem to care because, according to Chuck Schumer, every day gets better for us. And as a result, the Democrats are threatening America's safety, our security, and our prosperity. The American people don't want the government closed. Chuck Schumer does, because every day gets better for him. 2 in 3 Americans demand Democrats accept the continuing resolution at current funding levels. It's the right thing to do. It's fair. It's reasonable. It's time Democrats listen to them. Time to open the government so the troops can get paid. That's what this is all about, Mr. President. A political game being played by the radical left. And they believe it's getting better for them each day. And Chuck Schumer, this wasn't some offhanded comment. This is exactly what he said yesterday in a sit-down interview with the press in his office. These were planned words and orchestrated to appeal to the people that he's trying to appeal to them, who are not the average American who just wants to go to work, just wants to get paid a fair wage for a fair full day's work and defend the country. So I know who the us is when he says us. And it's not the American people, it's not the hardworking people of your state or my state who want to get up, go to work, get the kids to school, put food on the table, and live in this greatest country of all times. And that's what we're dealing with, and that's why I came to the floor this morning, Mr. President. Because when I heard this comment by the minority leader, I could not let it stand, and the American people deserve better. Mr. President, on a separate matter, I want to talk about something else. And in July, President Trump signed into law the Working Families Tax Cut. And that legislation stopped a $4 trillion tax increase. It secured our border, it unleashed American energy, and it slashed wasteful Washington spending. I thought one of the most egregious subsidies we eliminated was the electric vehicle tax credit. And under Joe Biden, Washington provided lucrative luxury tax credits to prop up EV sales. The Biden car bribes forced working families to subsidize vehicles that people didn't want, couldn't afford, weren't very practical in my state. And I've fought against these costly EV handouts for years. I introduced bills to repeal them, and I was joined by my Republican colleagues. And I especially want to recognize the senior senator from Ohio, Senator Bernie Moreno. Hardworking families should not be forced to bankroll luxury vehicles for wealthy elites. Republicans in Congress acted decisively. We terminated the EV tax credits. We deliberately chose September 30th as the end date for the subsidies. This quick termination meant significant savings for taxpayers, $200 billion in savings over the next 10 years. But as the saying goes, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And in Washington, we have to follow up and fight to protect taxpayers and taxpayer dollars, even when the intent of Congress is clear. And that's where I really want to point out the hard work of Senator Moreno, because that's what the Republicans are doing. In recent weeks, Senator Moreno and I read troubling news. There was a last-ditch effort to game the system in the final days before the cutoff date. And we immediately wrote to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to alert him about the issue and to address the problem. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, who's chairman of the Commerce Committee, also raised his concern with the Treasury Department about the subsidies. Major car companies responded to the letter, and they changed their policies. And I encourage all companies to follow their lead. Republicans are going to continue to protect taxpayers and ensure these subsidies are gone for good. Here's the reality: the subsidies were never needed in the first place. Look at what has happened since Congress ended them. Tesla has actually lowered its prices. They've done it by stripping out luxury features like vegan leather seats and ambient lighting. Hyundai slashed nearly $10,000 off of their Georgia-built model. This is precisely how fair market competition works. Americans elected Republicans to end Washington wasteful spending. We're keeping our word. So I'm going to continue to work with my Senate colleagues and the Trump administration to keep this loophole closed, to enforce the law, and to protect hardworking taxpayers. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.